Hi, my name is Chase, and welcome to the Wellness Center podcast, where we're going to talk all things red light therapy. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please make sure to like and subscribe so you can get updated and notified on all of our newest episodes that we'll be releasing. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy the episode. Hey everyone, this is Chase. Welcome back to the Wellness Center podcast. I'm super grateful you're here today. Like I said in my intro, if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe so you can get updated on all of our most recent stuff. Today, we're going to get right into it. We're going to be talking about a mental illness today, specifically PTSD. So let's get right into it again. Looking at my screen, looking at my camera here. So if I'm looking over here, I promise I still love you. I'm just looking at my screen so we can review all these studies. So PTSD. So we're going to start with psychiatry.org. And they're going to go over what PTSD is. Now, if you guys, I'm only going to read just a little bit. I don't like to read it all. But if you ever want to read more, I always make sure all the 3 links that I use, which is typically my research about the basic research about what ailment I'm researching. So today, PTSD. I have a red light therapy study that I post on there as well. And then typically I like to do at-home remedies or at-home management for the stuff that I research. However, today with PTSD, since it is such a serious thing, I actually am looking more of like a medical recommendations, things that help. I want this to be taken real seriously. So psychiatry.com, what is post-traumatic stress disorder? Post-traumatic stress disorder is a psychiatric disorder that may occur in people who have experienced or witnessed a traumatic event, series of events, or set of circumstances. An individual may experience this emotionally or physically harmful or life-threatening and may affect mental, physical, social, and spiritual well-being. Now, there are some examples right here. Don't want to read them, though. You're welcome to come back and read them and what they are. But again, that's the basic of what PTSD is. Now, we are here looking at this study. Oh, go back up to the abstract here. So we are looking from the Translational Psychiatry. They published this back in May of 2021, and the title of this is Transcranial Photobiomodulation Prevents PTSD-like comorbidities in rats experiencing underwater trauma. Comorbidities is like getting something else because it's like having two or more ailments at the same time. Maladaptive fear memory processing after a traumatic event is a major contributor to the development of comorbidities related to post-traumatic stress disorder. An intervention to normalize this process could be a first-line treatment to prevent PTSD development, which is saying that photobiomodulation might actually stop you from developing comorbidities, which is more than one ailment because of a certain situation. Little progress has been made in identifying interventions that can prevent trauma survivors from developing PTSD. A treatment that could help trauma survivors cope with traumatic memories. I've got such an itchy nose, please excuse me. A treatment that could help trauma survivors cope with traumatic memories and decrease the prevalence of PTSD is thus in high demand, which I agree. There's nothing, there needs to be something. There's always an answer. This study was designed to investigate the potential beneficial effects of early photobiomodulation interventions to prevent PTSD-like comorbidities in animals. Okay, so what they're doing is they're seeing if photobiomodulation, red light therapy, can help prevent PTSD from developing after experiencing a traumatic event early on. So how they did this, their method was they introduced rats to underwater trauma, a procedure, followed by multiple swimming sessions on later days for memory recall, just to see if them in the water triggered a trauma response, a post-traumatic stress disorder response. Immediately after the underwater trauma and swimming, rats were restrained with or without photobiomodulation treatment. Now, I read later, and that's where you saw me earlier before I hop back up to the abstract in the materials and methods. I was seeing how many times, because it doesn't say in the abstract, how many times the rats went through photobiomodulation therapy. The answer is 7 times, 1 time a day. And so they were treated with or without photobiomodulation. PTSD-like commodities such as anxiety-like behavior, depression-like behavior, and cognitive dysfunction were reproduced in the underwater traumatized rats. These comorbidities, however, could be prevented by early photobiomodulation intervention. There we go. Could be prevented. By measuring the expression of immediate early genes as neuronal activity markers, we found that photobiomodulation treatment differentially regulated ARC and CFOS expression in the hippocampus and amygdala, two PTSD-related brain regions. Additionally, photobiomodulation boosted ATP production, which is energy, and regulated protein expression in the hippocampus following stress. Our results demonstrated that photobiomodulation can modulate brain activity in response to traumatic and stressful events, and that early on, photobiomodulation intervention can prevent the occurrence of PTSD like comorbidities in rats. Cool. Now we're going to go over to the mayoclinic.org. Now, typically, I like to do at-home remedies. I think it's just nice to have something you can do at home in adjunct therapy to red light therapy. However, I think PTSD is super serious. I take it very seriously. So I'm going to recommend some things from the Mayo Clinic, specifically from them. First is psychotherapy, having either cognitive therapy, exposure therapy, or eye movement sensitization and reprocessing, EMDR therapy. Another therapy is ART therapy, which is super, super great. And is then medications, antidepressant, anti-anxiety medications, or something that's been properly diagnosed by your medical health care provider and then picked up through a pharmacy can definitely help. So there you have it. Early on, before PTSD is developed through a traumatic event, we can help. So if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. Come try us out. Your first session is free. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.